Welcome to another chapter of the book called Path. My name is Knut Larsson. I'm the author, and I'm reading my book, but also with commentaries, and I have guests from time to time. One of my favorite guests is here today. It's Bree. She's Miss World Beauty and Fitness, and has been with me with regards to a lot of the ideas in the book. I have talked to her about it. Okay. Today we're going to talk about. We're going to do actually the foreword of the book. It's like an introduction. So let me start. Due to the lack of gene diversity in the human race, it is estimated that there must have been a time in our history where there were no more than 150 people left. So we are all brothers and sisters. I thought this was very important to bring up in the beginning of the book, because the gene diversity in the human race is less than in any other species on the face of the earth, which they have been able to
You're saying
analyze.
gene diversity?
Gene diversity, which means that at some point in time in the human history, it was a catastrophe which reduced the human race only to 150 people. So, in a sense, from a DNA standpoint, we're all brothers and sisters. All truths pass through three stages. Number one, it is ridiculed. Number two, it is violently opposed. 3, it is being accepted as being self-evident. So if you look throughout history, you found that the most controversial ideas, in fact, many times being prosecuted by government or the prevalent ideas at the time, has become the foundation for a paradigm shift which humanity has been taking. And at some point, that idea which everybody fought and was ridiculing actually become the most important new shift for humanity. This was said by Schopenhauer, the famous philosopher. I quote on my own: "To own nothing is to have everything." If you get extremely angry when you read this book, remember that what is being said is absolutely true. The truth is that you cannot admit to the truth. If you disagree, you think that what is said is true, but you cannot admit to the truth either. 3,000 people die every day on the highway. Are we going to shut down all traffic? We need to dismantle many laws and make society free again. We got to get the government out of our lives. The benefit you get from reading this book is that you will be able to see through the myths. When you read my book, you will become an enlightened person. Actually, after you read this book, you will say, "I'm enlightened now." You will have revelations that will make you enjoy life more and become a happier person. But also, you will no longer be seduced by propaganda. This, in the end, is a book of cosmic and spiritual enlightenment. And enlightenment with regards to politics, economics, and justice. What does it mean to be an enlightened person in order to help secure the future prosperity and excitement of living for you as an individual and for humanity as a whole? The bonus from the book: you may no longer fear to die. My book is about enlightenment, not only personally and spiritually, but also politically, socially, economically, and judicially. You will become a participant in the conversation and the future goals and aspirations of humanity. Hopefully, I will shock and awe you into enlightenment to the degree that before I finish reading the book, you will start talking to your neighbors. This book will cause deep controversy, anger, and debate on the highest level of society, which will prove the truth. What is the purpose of man's existence? You may not be able to understand this book, even as it's written in the simplest of terms. To understand this book, you must understand what creativity and destruction is, and that man has the ability to understand the laws of nature and the ability to transform matter into useful products for his pleasure and survival. The original name of this book was Well-Meaning Idiots and the Subconscious Conspiracy. This book is dedicated to those who desire to create the perfect society. I will prove in my book that perfection is created through the imperfect. An imperfect society creates opportunities and develops the human spirit. An idiot can be a member of a group who pursue a moral issue. The problem in life is to realize your goals and values. In fact, anybody confronted with who they are is usually scared to death. But that is what it takes, because you can only grow and achieve by being subject to your own acts. The idea of imperfection versus perfection, and that the idea of the imperfect is the preferred state of the society, is proven by the laws of physics and mathematics. At the Big Bang, it was asymmetry between matter and antimatter. If the Big Bang had been a symmetrical event, the universe would have become nothing, or just radiation. Before the universe came into existence, there was nothing. Then, something appeared, but asymmetry created the universe. Asymmetry also exists on the atomic level, with the spin of the atom being right-handed. And actually, the helix of the DNA is also right-handed as well. And you can ask yourself the question, why is all DNA in all living organisms right-handed? This asymmetry is observed throughout the universe. Asymmetry is also the foundation for the arrow of time and the second law of thermodynamics. If the universe had been symmetrical, it would be a static universe with no past or future. It would not evolve. So it's actually through the asymmetry and imperfection that we have evolution, and where creation can take place. This fundamental property of the universe is also consistent with the findings of quantum physics and the possibility of free will, meaning that the past and the future do not exist. This constellation establishes meaning and purpose, because without reference to the past and the possibilities of the future, meaning and purpose cannot be experienced. So, since the past and the future do not exist, the universe has been proven to be probabilistic, not deterministic. It has given humans self-awareness and the ability to understand and free will. Implied in free will is the power to choose. Humanity has a choice to evolve creatively to higher and higher levels of complexity, or to choose destruction, leading toward lower and lower levels of simplicity. Hopefully, this book will prove to the reader, meaning you, that the choice of destruction would lead to a dead end and ultimately to the disappearance of man and all life. in choosing imperfection and creativity, which is the most prevalent force in the universe, proven through the asymmetry, leads to the continuous evolution and survival of humanity, leading to the possibility that we at some point in time would be able to conquer the entire universe and manipulate it in such a way that we can create everything possible, and recreate everything that has existed in the past for infinity. And even to the possibility that the universe we inhabit can spawn baby universes which would be better suited for the evolution and experience of intelligence that will go on forever. Very interesting. I come up with these ideas over the last 20 years. I get more and more validation from the most prominent physicists and cosmologists. They're also starting to go down this pathway. Okay, so I also stand on their shoulders. The end result is that we need to create a society based on the idea of individual and a collective freedom. What are the consequences of the positive choice or the negative choice? I believe that we're going down the path of destruction. One choice is to allow, as an example, criminality to exist as an imperfection. We need it to evolve as a society. If one takes the imperfections away, one also takes away creativity and freedom. Quite obvious, isn't it? Mm-hmm. But we need to make the choices to preserve the freedom and allow the imperfections. The end result is that we need to create a society based on the idea of individual and collective freedom. This in turn implies that we have to allow the society to be imperfect. In this way, we will minimize destruction and suffering. Freedom is a more powerful educator and regulator of man than any law, punishment, or restriction. The attempt to guide man through laws and regulations actually creates what the laws and regulations were intended to prevent. I'm going to repeat that. And I prove it in the book. The attempt to guide man through laws and regulations actually creates what the laws and regulations were intended to prevent. So the society has to be organized in such a way that it maximizes individual freedom. It also implies that an element of chaos is the desired state of society. The key is to find those laws and regulations that work as positive attractors within the chaos. This leads society to maximizing development and evolution. This imperfection, in combination with the universe being chaotic, makes it possible for you to create your own destiny. Without it, you would have no freedom, and you could create no destiny, and you would have no meaning and purpose. Anchored in physics, the path, which is the title of the book, gives the framework by which society needs to be organized in order to maximize evolution and meaning and purpose.